When setting up for the first time, you'll need to connect the controller with a wire to handle the software. Once that's done, you can switch to using the wireless dongle. Next, just select Windows. I really like the software actually. It's user friendly. You can configure pretty much everything about how the controller works. So inside the macro section, you can edit the functionality of the two back buttons. So the P1 is for your right hand, while the P2 is for your left hand. Now that you know how it works, you can add macros to your back buttons. For this example, let's focus on the P2 button, which is for your left hand. So I will set up a macro for the L2, R2, and A buttons so that they will be pressed simultaneously when you press the back button. Also, don't forget to choose your profile first and then sync it to the device. This way, your configuration will be safe on board. And you won't have to edit it every time the controller connects to your PC. And I also love that you can control the intensity of the vibrations. This feature is great for games that don't have in-game settings for vibration intensity. This is actually great for racing and competitive games since you can adjust the dead zone of the triggers. Even though it doesn't have trigger stops, it's already good for its price. When I slightly press down the trigger, as you can see, it responds gradually, which is perfect for racing games. And for a zero dead zone setting, it's really helpful in shooting games for faster reactions. You can also adjust the dead zone of the sticks, which allows you to choose your preferred sensitivity. Setting it to zero dead zone makes the sticks react instantly when you move them. That is great for competitive games, of course. However, disabling the dead zone may cause some slight analog drift, which can be a downside possibly due to the Hall effect. You may also navigate to the software settings and use the device test feature to verify if all the buttons are functioning correctly. As you can see, I can see the front buttons, I can click or I can press them, and even the back buttons, I can press them all. Here's a tip for using the dongle. First, locate where the dongle is, and then it's right here, and then once you have it, most people plug it directly into the motherboard's back panel or the front case panel. However, I recommend keeping it where you found it. Simply connect the Type-C cable to the charging dock, and then the controller will automatically connect to the PC. This setup is convenient because when you want to charge the controller, you can place it back on the charging dock. When you're ready to use it again, just pick it up and you're good to go. Alright, so I'm going to use the GamePadla for the latency testing. Please note that GamePadla acknowledges that it's already may not be perfect or not accurate as possible, but it's useful for comparing controllers or getting a general idea of the latency. On the lower left, you can see that the controller has a minimal latency of 5 ms with an average of 6.48 ms and a maximum latency of the 12.92 ms. Next, let's try it out with the wired connection. Wired setups typically give better latency results, so we can expect a smoother performance or a slighter delay. In my opinion, if you're deciding between using a dongle or a wired connection, I would lean towards the dongle for its convenience and portability. However, for competitive gaming, where every millisecond counts, a wired connection might still be preferable due to lower latency. But in reality, the difference between 5 ms and 1 ms latency is hardly noticeable, and skill matters most of the time. Unless we have skill issues, right? Like me. Anyways, for me, the dongle is sufficient, especially for playing AAA story-driven games. The choice depends on you. Depends on your personal preference and gaming priorities, of course. So that's all. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for more content.